Yes, we can hear you, sir. from the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program to the Rhodes Scholarship to the Chevening Scholarship to the Korean Government Scholarship to the Chinese Government Scholarship to the Japanese Government Scholarship to the Swedish Government Scholarship. There are several scholarships out there for you. So if you ever had a conversation with someone that claims that fully funded scholarship do not exist, do not listen to them, because you can tell them Dr. Lumiwa Bajobi is a living testimony of someone that had meets about age is just a number. Like nobody should, select you or give you scholarship based on your age. And that is why when we come to the part of writing your CV, we will also talk about some of the personal details that you need to remove from your CV that might not be applicable for international scholarship. So that is the number three about getting scholarship. And people do say, oh, you need a master's to get a PhD scholarship. You don't necessarily need a master's to get a PhD scholarship. I've mentored several students that went straight away from their undergraduates to getting a fully funded PhD, basically, especially in sciences and engineering, even in sociology. This is because for most countries, especially in the US, they do prioritize, getting students who are interested in PhD into their institution because of the time frame as well as the opportunity to publish papers, which is often a win-win situation for the institution and the student. So also it's important, have a publication if you want to get scholarship. It might not be completely important or necessary, but if you are currently working on a publication or you're currently working on your project or you've taken part in review papers, I think it's important to take advantage of that. So note this common myth about scholarship. You don't have to be a genius to win scholarship. You do not have to create another continent or create a cure for cancer to win scholarship. All you need to understand is the strategies which we're going to talk about later during this conversation. Now, let's talk about the benefit of scholarships. The benefit of scholarship are quite enormous. Number one, it comes with free money in terms of you don't have to worry about paying for your tuition. You don't have to worry about paying for your flight ticket. You don't have to worry about, having to work and study because grad school is quite, very demanding, and that is why they're providing with scholarship, which could be from different sources, which we'll talk about soon. So please ensure that you understand. Number one benefit is free money, and if that is the motivation, for instance, we just had a student who's going to Dartmouth College in the US with over $650,000 worth of scholarship for the period of 6 years. So she doesn't have to bother about, the monthly stipend is already covered at $4,000 per month, and she was also provided with relocation allowance. And most importantly, when you're applying for your visa, if you're going for your visa application, you don't have to go with proof of funds. So it means that the barrier that get imposed with tuition, having to raise tuition of over 50 million naira, it's already taken away because you had won the scholarship. So another benefit is the fact that you have a stable academic calendar. You do know when you will matriculate and you do know when you will graduate, which is similar to what you're currently experiencing. And so there's no disruption in academic calendar at all. Another benefit of international scholarship is the fact that you get matched with mentors. For so many scholarships in Canada, across the US, so many institutions, they match you with mentors, they support you throughout your career in terms of leadership, in terms of communication skill, in terms of even matching you with opportunities. And we also have other benefit which includes International exposure includes career change. In most cases, especially in our ecosystem, especially in Africa, you might not have to do a different course apart from what you're doing. For instance, if you have a background in microbiology and you decide to switch to software engineering, it is applicable for some international scholarship, especially if you can show that you have the basic background, the prerequisite, the foundational professional experience that will allow you to cope adequately in that regard. Another benefit of international scholarship, it also gives you opportunity for second passport. If you'd ever thought about traveling across the globe in terms of mobility, I've visited more than 20 countries since I've left Nigeria 12 years ago, and this has been made possible through scholarship. Some of my awards covered, visiting different countries to take part in research, attending international conferences. It's being paid by your scholarship body, and you can also have exchange programs, which are quite important. And we do have the international, collaborations. We do have, tourism as well, which is one important part of scholarships. If you, for instance, get the Erasmus Mundus scholarship program in Europe, you have the opportunity to visit over 29 Schengen countries without having to apply for the visa. So you do have quite a lot of advantages, from free money to free flights. Even some even offer free food as well, especially the GECO Brazilian government scholarship, which we spoke about a couple of weeks ago on our YouTube channel. So think about the benefit of getting scholarship in terms of taking care of your tuition, your stipends, taking care of your accommodation. It also gives you that prestige that you've won a particular scholarship before that could add to your CV, and it makes a lot of difference, especially when you're seeking for opportunities, both local and global opportunities later. So that's the benefit of getting scholarship. Now let's talk about sources of scholarship. We've been talking about a benefit. We've talked about economics. Where do you get to the scholarship itself? There are three major sources of getting scholarship. Could be from the institution itself. Most institutions offer scholarships in terms of research assistantship and teaching assistantship. When it comes to research assistantship, you will be, assigned to work with a professor or in a research lab, and this covers your stipends, covers your tuition, provides you with health insurance. And in terms of teaching assistantship, this comes in form of supporting a professor as well to take care of their classes, in terms of taking attendance, coordinating the classes, marking script. You can also be a guest lecturer. So if you are looking for opportunities in terms of getting a full ride scholarship in the US, in Canada, in Germany, in different countries across the globe, the university itself might provide you with scholarship in terms of research and teaching assistantship. And this is one thing I do tell my students and mentees a lot. When you have decided to apply to a particular institution or a particular university, it is very crucial for you to go through their pages to see their funding opportunities, to see the kind of funding that is available. Do not assume that every university offers scholarship for your major. If you cannot find information about their scholarship program, please reach out to the coordinator to find out, hey, I'm applying to your university. I would appreciate if you can provide me with information about funding opportunities for grad students. So many institutions do not offer scholarships for masters. They would prefer having to give scholarship for PhD students. And not everybody wants to do a PhD like Dr. Iqbal Ajobi. So it's important for you to know your area of strength and limitations. So rather than applying to a particular university, maybe you will apply to several, or the government-funded scholarship, which is the second source of scholarship. You have the Korean government, you have the Chinese government, you have the Japanese government, you have the Turkish government, you have the SI scholarship sponsored by the Swedish government, you have the United Kingdom, government that sponsors Chevening, Commonwealth shared distant learning, and several. You have the DAD scholarship in Germany as well, which you can all apply for if you're looking for a master's scholarship. So please understand there are three major sources of scholarship. Number one is the institutional part. Every institution do have grants to sponsor students to come work with them to take part in research. And then we have the government, scholarship, which is often a full right scholarship that supports you to study in their country. Some of the scholarship might require you go back to your own country. Some might be flexible that they do not have to ensure you go back to your own country. The third sources of scholarship is non-governmental organizations. There are individuals, non-governmental organizations that donated endowment funds, to institutions to ensure they bring international students. One typical example is the McCall McBain Scholarship at McGill University. They have this endowment fund that allows, the university to recruit international student, local student every year. The application is currently ongoing and it closes, I think, August 24 for international students and September 24 for domestic students. You can check out Scholarships Cafe and all these opportunities. We have over 4,000 active scholarship, which if you create an account for free, you get matched on your dashboard and see the scholarship that matches your area of interest. So the second one is the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program, which is funded by MasterCard, Foundation, an organization, a branch of the MasterCard of the card we usually use, and they provide, everything you need to study. In Canada, they partner with UBC, McGill, University of Toronto. Fortunately, we have 5 students who will be resuming in our community at UBC in August this year. Out of over 10,000 applicants, they selected 4 or 5. And then we also have 3 students going to McGill. As a Black woman, even the info session for the one at McGill was announced a couple of days ago, which we posted on our platform. And you must ensure you attend one of those info sessions for you to be eligible for the scholarship. I do believe because they received over 10,000 applications last year, they probably want to ensure that they receive lesser this year. So there are scholarships from the government, there is scholarship from the institution, and also non-for-profit organizations and individuals do give out scholarship to the institution to recruit students. So please do not forget that. Now, that is the source of scholarship. So where are scholarship depository? Where do you find those scholarships? The first sources, the first place you ever want to think about when you've considered applying to a particular country or university is the university website. Every institution do have a website that will indicate the type of funding, the amount of funding that is available for your major. You might be in maths, biology, economics, physics. There will be something about every student is supported with assistantship or grants or scholarships or not. So please, when it comes to scholarship depository, ensure you start from the institutional website. The second source of depository when it comes to where to find scholarship, online platforms, scholarship depository. We have Scholarships Cafe. There are so many scholarship websites out there that they do list scholarships that you can actually apply for. But you need to be very careful, especially some could be in form of bait. You do not want to fall to, baits that would lead you to another place, and in return you have to exchange your credit card for applying for those scholarships. You have to be very careful. On Scholarships Cafe, you would not find a single heart because we want the experience not to be interfered with at all. So there are also different platforms across. In the UK, we have job.ac.uk. In Canada, we have Scholarships Canada. In the US, there are also scholarship platforms that you know that when you see them, they are typically legit. So you don't have to stress about it. And if you come across a platform that it's often about ads, is totally full with ads, you want to be very careful because they make money out of those ads, which is not bad, but again, some of them post fake scholarships that you want to be very weary of. And the third, depository of scholarship is social media. I'm sure so many of you are probably on social media, and there are opportunities on social media, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. You see so many professors, so many scholarship providers are all on those social media platforms trying to engage students and ensure that they more visibility for their scholarship. So when it comes to you looking for scholarship, you don't have an excuse, because right now, I would even say, compared to when I was applying 12 years ago, where there are less information, now you think about information overload, that you need to sieve it appropriately. So if you're looking for scholarship, check the institutional website first. Check online depository, especially scholarship platforms. Sign up for newsletters. We do send newsletter every month to over 70,000 sign-ups with Scholarships Cafe from 167 countries. We're happy to do this for free. And you can also check social media platforms that you can connect, and you can see the list of scholarships that is ongoing. We do post scholarships on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on our Twitter page, on TikTok, on Instagram, so you don't have any excuse at all. So we've mentioned the first thing, what are fully funded scholarship, the common myths about scholarship, the benefit of scholarship, sources of scholarship. Now we've talked about scholarship depository, which is important. Now let's talk about scholarship across the globe, which is very crucial to our conversation today. And we're going to start from Europe. Like when we talk about scholarships in Europe, we do have, we do have the DAD scholarship, especially in Germany. We also have, the Erasmus Mundus scholarship program as well, which gives you an opportunity to study in Europe for free. Most important thing that you should note about the Erasmus Mundus scholarship program is the fact that it opens every year around October yearly, and it supports students to do their masters fully funded across 3 countries in Europe. So if you're looking for an opportunity to study in Europe, I would strongly recommend the DAD scholarship for you and the Erasmus Mundus scholarship program as well. In continuation of opportunities in Europe, we do have the Turkish government scholarship. We have the Chevening government scholarship in the UK. We have the Commonwealth Shared scholarship in the UK. The Rhodes scholarship allows you to study at Oxford, and this is a full right scholarship. The application is ongoing, and we were fortunate to have one of our students last year, out of 3 students from West Africa that were selected. We had one of the students that attended our masterclass who got selected. We'll be heading to Oxford in September. We have the Alan Neston Ferguson scholarship in the UK. We have the Mastercard Foundation at Edinburgh. We also have at Oxford. We do have also at we have at Oxford, we have at Cambridge, and we do have at Edinburgh. One of the problems with the ones at Edinburgh is the fact that some of the scholarship program at Edinburgh, you might have to use a VPN to access them. We had noticed recently that they had blocked probably applicants from Africa, maybe because of the numbers of applications. I do not know, but if you're unable to access those platforms, you might want to try using your VPN to be able to access them. We have the SI scholarship in Sweden, and just last year, the SS scholarship in Sweden introduced the Pioneering Women scholarship in science, which is typically for women in Asia as well as in Africa to apply, and some Nigerians also want this scholarship. We do have other scholarship in Europe, which includes Highland government scholarship, and quite a lot of opportunities out there, which are quite, inexhaustible. Again, we do list some of the scholarship in Scholarships Cafe, and you don't have to sweat about it. You get matched directly on your dashboard. All you need to do is to just create an account within a minute for free, and that is shown on your dashboard, the amount of scholarship. Okay, let's go to North America. After Europe, let's go to North America. We do have, the Mastercard Foundation scholarship program that I mentioned earlier. In Canada, we do have in the US as well. In Canada, we have University of British Columbia. If you're looking for an opportunity in food, land system, if you're looking for an opportunity in forestry, if you're looking at an opportunity related to data science, this is a very good program you might want to take a look at. It opens around September, October every year, and we are always happy. Last year, I made a YouTube video on how to apply for this scholarship, and it's still on YouTube. And then we do have at University of Toronto, we do have at McGill University, for the Mastercard Foundation scholarship at McGill. They have for public health, they have also for students interested in, agricultural sciences and also in chemistry. You can see a list of their program. And I mentioned earlier, their info session has been announced. I think the first info session will be on the 3rd of July. And if you're following me on Twitter, you'll see that I posted in the last 48 hours, which I think had attracted over 30,000 views. So you can register for that info session. And once you register, you will get a link to the application when it opens, I think in August or thereabout. And we also promise we're going to make a YouTube video on the step-by-step guide on how to apply for the Mastercard Foundation McGill. In the US, we do have, the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program at Arizona State. We do have at University of California as well, or UC Berkeley, which it's one of the top universities across the globe. And also we have other different scholarship in Canada. Harrow Scholarship allows you to get $50,000 worth of scholarship if you're interested in food, related agri-food, food security. Maybe you're in the field of chemistry, you're in the field of biology, you're in the field of biochemistry, in the field of microbiology, food microbiology. So you need to begin to realize how much problem you intend to solve, especially if you're applying for scholarship. And I do say this all the time, this could be like a free money, but they would consider students that are able to bring about their value process. They are able to consider students that are shown there is a gap that they intend to solve. They are able to consider a student that is exceptional in the sense of, okay, this is free money, but I do want to contribute to the body of knowledge through this particular process because I've acquired certain expertise in this perspective, which we will touch based on that later. So there are other scholarship in America, which is inexhaustible, even professor funding. So many of my students going to the US right now, they get funding from professors because those professors got grants from the government or funding agencies, which is also important when you are ready to apply for scholarship to understand the intricacies, which I'll touch base on that later. Now let's go to Asia. It's a home of scholarship from Korea to China. There are different scholarships. You have the Chinese government scholarship. You have the Hansel scholarship that provides over 500 scholarships every year for students interested in science, technology, engineering, and maths. The CSS scholarship in China, the Chinese government scholarship covers both the field of sciences and non-sciences. You're in law, you're in art, you're in education. You can actually get their scholarship. It covers tuition, it covers stipends. They don't provide flight ticket anyway. The Hansel scholarship provides flight ticket. And there are other opportunities in Asia, such as the Korean government scholarship. Just this year, they had selected about 1,800 students that will be resuming in Korea in September. Covers your flight, covers your tuition, covers your stipends, also covers your language fee. So majorly for the Korean government scholarship program, you can either apply through the embassy route or you apply through the university route. If you apply through the embassy route, you can apply to 3 universities in Korea. If you apply through the university route, you can only apply to 1 university. I have a YouTube video on this as well, which is for the sake of the time we have, might not be enough for me to really expatiate on it. But again, the Korean government scholarship is one of the best scholarships across the globe. I'm a beneficiary of that 12 years ago, and I've consistently monitored the trend for the past 12 years, and I've mentored over 50 students that got into the scholarship. So take a look at the Korean government scholarship. Different institutions in Korea, they do offer their own internal scholarship that you can benefit from. We do have the Japanese government scholarship as well, which is similar to the Korean government scholarship because it covers everything that you need to study in Korea, in Japan. We also have the Kazakhstan government scholarship. Just about 30 minutes ago or about 45 minutes ago, I got a notification on LinkedIn from it like this, and I just mentioned studying in Asia, and that changed his trajectory, and he won the Kazakhstan government scholarship, which covers everything he needed to study in Kazakhstan, and now he has graduated, moving to the next phase of his program. And if you have a low GPA, some of these Asian countries are the best shot for you to start your journey. I do have a student who had, 2-2 a couple of years ago, and he won the Chinese government scholarship and the ANSO scholarship during COVID. He was able to complete the 2 programs, and he had 2 masters for free, and now he's in Canada for his PhD program. So if you have a low GPA, 3.1, 2.9, don't give up. You still have time to work on your credentials. It's not always about your CGPA. It's about other things that you are able to bring on board. You do not want to have a first class and just relax and think it's all about your first class. There are other things that do matter in the application, process that you need to put in place. So we also talk about the Hong Kong PhD scholarship. It's also a scholarship that offers over 400 slots every year to study in Hong Kong, and they also accept direct PhD as well. There are other opportunities in Asia that people do not also know about, especially, we have the Korean, Development Institute in KDI for people interested in, public policy. And just this year, we had 7 students from our platform that are currently in Korea, and we're hoping to have a webinar on how to apply for that program for the spring 2026 as well. There's also Quaker in Korea. The program is basically for people who have professional experience already. It's a 2-year program. You complete 1 year in Korea, and then you complete your thesis in your own country. There are also professor funding from the US to Asia, to North America. Individual professors do have funding for you. Australia, almost every institution in Australia do have funding. All you need to do is to, just jump on their website and you'll be able to see notice about their funding. And lastly, in Africa, we do have funding in Africa as well. The Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program, a partner with University in Kenya in South Africa. They just partner with PAU, Pan-African University in Lagos, for the fully funded undergraduate scholarship. So maybe you have a younger one that is interested in the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program. You might think about that later. Most importantly, there's also the in Rwanda, for those in the field of mathematics. You might get an opportunity to study in Rwanda, also in Senegal. There are quite a lot of these opportunities right now. Yesterday, I posted one MBA in healthcare leadership in collaboration with the University in South Africa and Senegal, and everything you need to succeed on this program is covered. So when you think about scholarship, think about flexibility. If you're going to ask me, why not the US alone? I would always say this: we don't even know what will happen in the next application cycle for the US, especially now that the Donald Trump-led government had a cut in funding for several institutions, including Harvard, even proposing a cap on international students. So if you have multiple offers in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in Asia, I will be more than happy to talk to you to say, okay, maybe these are the pros and cons of going to this country, rather than just focusing on the US and Canada alone. At the end of the day, it doesn't work for you. So for me, I started my journey from Korea to Germany to Canada. It's been an amazing journey, talking about all those opportunities across the globe, because I didn't limit myself. So when it comes to scholarship, be flexible, get a tracker. For those that we mentor at Scholarships Cafe, we do give them a tailored plan for them to go through the mentorship program, so that you list the scholarship, the eligibility, the professor you want to work with, and how you will be strategic in applying for those scholarships. So the last piece of this conversation today, like I mentioned, is going to be interactive, is how do you apply for the scholarship? What are the strategies do you need to put in place? Number one strategy is to define your research interest. So for so many people that want to apply for scholarship, they just want to do a master's. I want to do a thought-based master's, 1-year master's. They should provide me every funds that I need. But again, this comes with a lot of options in terms of last year, Chevening Scholarship, which is a thought-based master's in the UK, received over 80,000 applications. And this would not happen if you're focusing on a research-based master's. So the difference between a thought-based master's and a research-based master's is the fact that one leads to a dissertation, which is thesis-based, and the other one leads to maybe a kind of a project, which is not, it's not a practically thesis-based, but basically it's something like, a project that you do in groups. So you get more funds when it comes to you pursuing research-based masters or PhD. So defining your research interest means that, what is the gap in my field? I'm a microbiologist. Is it a problem of antibiotic resistance? I'm in the field of public policy. Is it a problem that has to do with gun violence or black lack health? I'm in the field of sociology. Is it a problem that has to do with access to healthcare? I'm in the field of mathematics. Is it a problem that has to do with mathematical education in terms of teaching students mathematics with storytelling? So you need to identify the research interest, the research gap that you intend to focus in grad school. Once you're able to answer that, like, hey, what is the reason why I want to go to grad school? Not just I'm motivated, but the fact that I'm driven by the ability to contribute to the body of knowledge, then the journey becomes easier. And one of the ways you can get to highlight your research interest is to find professors in your field. So if you've decided you're going to go into the field of mathematical modeling, you've decided you're going to go into the field of climate change, you've decided you're going to go into the field of infectious disease, you can say for professors of infecting your research interest, and then on your document you can really highlight, articulate those properly, which could help you to be a better person and ensure you submit the right application. So number one is define your research interest. Search for scholarship in your field as well. I've mentioned a few of those scholarships, so you can check on our database to see scholarships that matches your field, from Turkey to the Korea to China to the US to Canada to the Rhodes Scholarship in the UK. There are so many scholarships out there, and you can't even complain that you do not have access to those opportunities anymore, because we've democratized access to those things, which has attracted us awards from local and international government as well. So, number one, define your research interest, create a list, you'll find scholarships in your field, and the third strategy is to acquire the necessary experience. So if you are in my field as a microbiologist, there are certain tools you do need to include in your document. There are certain tools that you need to demonstrate expertise. If you do not those expertise, there could be a problem. If you're in the field of civil engineering, there will be certain tools and skill sets and techniques that you need to indicate on your documents that you know how to use. So if you think you do not have those research experience right now, you could find a way to be able to acquire those experiences through institutions, working with your professors, getting to find out about advertisement in your research area and the tools that it leads. Now, even if you're in the field of public policy or non-science, or you're in the field of arts, you can't even have an excuse not to be able to use Python or R programming language. These are changing. Things are becoming really, sophisticated, that you need to build your skill set, from ground zero if you don't have that. And so, acquire the right experiences that would make your profile to be solid. And the third one is to draft compelling document from your CV. I would have spent more than 1.5 hours to talk about academic CV because of time. So if you are still a person that is using those academic CV with date of birth, with gender, with nationality, with religion, with next of kin, with number of children, you want to exclude those completely from your academic CV if you're applying for international scholarship. Nobody cares about that. They do want to see your education, which is limited to your undergraduate, no kindergarten, no high school, no secondary school. Please exclude those things. They want to see your education. They want to see your research interest. They want to see your research experience. They want to see your teaching experience. They want to see your leadership experience. They want to see your communication skill, which is evident in your presentation. They want to see your professional development training, references, publications. No excuse for you if you're saying, oh, I'm just fresh out of university, I don't have a publication. You can start now. And also your leadership experience is very crucial for you to acquire necessary leadership experience, which will help your application to be robust. So your academic CV must be well written, must be consistent. I have a YouTube video on how to write a compelling academic CV that's been used by over 80,000 students, and not only for masters, people looking for professorial position, postdoctoral position have also used this, and has worked for them. And then you have your cold email, especially. You have to reach out to professors in most cases, so you have to ensure your cold email is well written. You are telling those professors, my name is Muiwa, I just completed my undergraduate program at Hancock University in the field of microbiology, graduating top 10% of my class. My undergraduate thesis focused on this. The skills that I acquired include PCR, cloning, plasmid isolation, RNA sequencing, which I do believe would be important for the next stage of my career. I came across your recent profile, which, and I'm quite intrigued by your recent publication. Mention the title of the publication, The Fresh Perspective That You Bring on Board. Most students that write emails to professors do not get responses because they are unable to show those professors that they are intellectually curious. They are unable to show those professors that they carry something different from every other person writing those professors saying, I want to work under your tutelage. So you do want to demonstrate the fact that you know even how to address this professor. Like if you are addressing a professor in the international space, which is a lady, you do not want to use a Professor Mrs. That is applicable in Nigeria, okay, that is forgivable in Nigeria. But when it comes to international space, that could be taxed as sexist. So you want to ensure you have the name of this Professor Ibarajobi, not Professor Olumiyiwa Ibarajobi, and then you address them properly. You show the fact that you want to express an interest in applying for a PhD or master's position. You also show research fit, and also you want to attach the right document like your CV and transcript all in PDF. And then your SOP, your statement of purpose, or personal statement. These are documents that demonstrate the knowledge of the field, the gap in the field, what you've acquired before in terms of your research experience, why are you going to grad school, who are the professors you want to work with, as well as what is your future goal. Maybe you want to become a professor in your field. Maybe you want to become a consultant in your field. Maybe you want to become an authority. Maybe you want to contribute to training the next generation of students in your field. These are things that are quite important when it comes to you writing your CV, writing your SOP, writing your code email, and you must ensure you get right references from your lecturers and professors. So now that you're still in the university, be a good student, have a good relationship with your supervisors and lecturers because you're coming back to get references from them. And let me tell you, there are three major documents that are important for your scholarship application. Your CV is one, the SOP is the second one, and your reference letter is the third one. So you must ensure that you have a good relationship with them because they will say in their reference letter the capacity they have known you, the numbers of years they've known you, how fit you are in terms of research experience, teaching, leadership, as well as being innovative for their journey ahead. So also, another strategy is to be flexible in terms of applying to different countries, that could support your goal in terms of acquiring the necessary skill set. There are also institutions that do waive application fee as well. So some of these institutions do, kind of organize open house events. When you attend so many of these open house events, you get your application fee waived. Another important in three cases or rudiment of this application is also your proficiency level. For you coming from Africa, especially English-speaking African country, I do believe you do not have to write a TOEFL or IELTS. I've been in this struggle for over 4 years. I've challenged over 300 universities across the globe to waive the English proficiency test for students from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Zimbabwe, from Kenya, from Ghana, and I've had several success stories even in Princeton, in University of Alberta here in Canada, as well as University of Texas in Austin, and so many of these universities. So if any institution is asking you to submit an English proficiency test, you can make a case for yourself to tell them over the years you've actually been taught in English and you don't think there is a need for you to submit this test. The other one is GRE and GMAT, which is basically to test your level in terms of analytical reasoning as well. So some of these institutions might not waive it. You might have to take it as well. Another strategies for applying for scholarship is basically evaluating your transcript. Let's say, for instance, you have a 2-1 or you have a 2-2 or you have a third class. You can evaluate your transcript using WES or High EE. Recently, we signed a partnership with High EE, which is a kind of a competitor with WES. And compared to WES, that will deliver your evaluation in 3 months. They can do this in 3 days. And also, if you're a member of a community, you get $35 discount. So we have this on our social media platforms. And if you need some of this link, I'm happy to also share with the organizer of this event. So be flexible as well. This will help you to submit a compelling document. I mean, Total, in summary, when you're applying for scholarship, please ensure that you address three major themes: your leadership, number one, your academic excellence, and your altruistic character in terms of innovation, because you do not want to focus on your CGPA alone. You do not want to focus on your research experience alone. You do want to attest that you have the necessary leadership skill. If eventually you get posted to a high school to teach, it's a good thing. Don't run away from it, because you will get the basic teaching experience that will help your documents to also be compelling. So, in summary, I would say that, you have the information with you. This might be a lot for about, 45 minutes or 50 minutes. And that's why we do offer different, mentorship support, which it's on our platform in Scholarships Cafe to support you. We just launched a 5 hours masterclass as well, which is self-paced. And all this information also online on our YouTube channel. We have over 84 videos on how to write academic CV, on how to, write your reference letter, on how to prepare for interviews. And I want to encourage you, volunteer, take a kind of example of, organizations in your field of interest, professional organizations, local and international organizations, where you can even meet scholarship providers, professors, and you can have conversations around the research. I'm just inspiring you to, I'm motivating you to go out there, seek for information, and, be strategic, prepare a plan for yourself. Because you're in 200 level, because you're in 300 level, because you're in 400 level, it's not too early to start a scholarship process. Be strategic so that by the time you're done with your study, you do know there's a scholarship waiting for you out there. I've mentored several people that they started following me on my social media platform from 200 level. And if you follow me on Twitter, feel free to send me a DM that you attended today's event, and I'm able to support you and, just set you on the right, our platform. Okay, on this note, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. And, I didn't use any side, and this is what I've been doing for the past 12 years. And so if you see me on any platform, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, shoot me a DM, shoot me a message. I will be more than happy to support you. And I do believe that we can spread the light together, and we can shine together as well. And all the best, and I'm open to questions from you all. Thank you.
A round of applause for him, please. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Please, next person I'll be calling on stage. Let's do well to welcome him with a standing ovation and a round of applause. To take the opening address for today is the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Anchor University. Standing ovation and a round of applause for him, please. Professor Olusola Oyero.
Please have your seats. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today to make these remarks on the occasion of 2025 Anchor University Student Week. This program is one that the management attaches a lot of importance to, because it provides opportunity for students to learn more, to have fun, to relax, and engage in activities beyond the classroom sessions. And so it is expected that you will take full advantage of the programs that have been lined up for this week. It is because of this importance that this week has been declared lecture-free for all students. You have lectures. Which lecture is that? No, this week, DSA, is this week not lecture free? So they said some people are saying they have lectures. Well, just as I've said, this week is lecture free. Any lecture scheduled anywhere is illegal. So let the lecturer know that such lecture does not have the management's approval. This week is meant for students to engage properly in all their programs that have been outlined, and you are meant to enjoy it. So no lecture is going to obstruct what has been outlined for you. However, let me express the Vice Chancellor's displeasure with many students' attitude concerning today's event. He wanted to be here himself, and as at 10 o'clock, he called the Dean of Student Affairs, only to be told that the students were not ready. You people were not here. And it might interest you to know that because of this program, the VC had to shift an appointment that is scheduled for Lagos. Yes, I want you to know how much he was displeased. And he had to call me and said, can you imagine, I shifted my program because of these students. The DSC just told me that they were not ready, and so I had to leave. And that is not really encouraging at all. But then, we won't want to throw away the baby with the bathwater. And if you look around, compare those who are seated here with the population of the students in Anchor University, you'll realize that most of you behave like children who don't really know what they live for. And that is quite unfortunate. Now, you have just had someone speak to you all the way from Canada. Now, where that person is based in Canada, it's about 5 a.m. As a matter of fact, before 5 a.m. So that means he had to wake up very early because he has an engagement, and so he has to wake up and put on system so that he can speak with you, and you are here. You are supposed to be here, and the people are not there. Can you just think about that you have to wake up very early in the morning, as early as 4 a.m. to speak with some people somewhere, and the people you want to talk to are not ready to listen to you. Well, you see, there is this popular story which you must have heard very well. The story of a small boy and a wise old man. And that small boy approaches the old man and says, "Old man, I understand you are a wise man and you have experience. I have this bird in my hand. Can you tell me whether it is dead or it's alive?" is the bed dead or the bed is alive? He was asking the old man. And the old man replied, "Oh boy, you know that the bed is in your hand. If I tell you that this bed is alive, all you need to do is to press your palms together and kill the bed." And you say, "Old man, after all, you are not wise. You can see that the bed is dead." But if I say it's dead, all you do is to open your palms and allow the bed to fly away and say, "Old man, you can see you are not wise because the bed is alive." So whether the bed is alive or the bed is dead, it's in your what? It's in your hands. I said that to tell you this, that making success out of life is basically in your hand. It's about the choices you make. It's about where you choose to be and the people you choose to be with and what you choose to consume. Basically, it's about the decisions that you make. Incidentally, there is a principle about life. And that principle says, you can not decide. You can not decide. Does that make meaning to you? You can't say that I'm not going to take a decision. Because you're not taking a decision is a decision in itself. So with you, decision is always made. I just pray for you that you will take the right decision in Jesus' name. And so, to wrap up this session, for those of you who have taken the decision to be here, I believe you must have learned a lot from what Dr. Iqbal Anjobi presented to you. And you can follow up from all he said and see how you can key into it for your future to be better. And many more engagements that you are going to have and the various activities that have been lined up for you. Try as much as possible to make the best out of them. Because, as I said, decision is in your hands. So on this note, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, I declare the events of the Students' Week 2025 open in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. God bless you.
Can you rise as we applaud and appreciate? Rise and appreciate our Deputy Vice Chancellor. Thank you so much, sir. And in chorus, what do you say to our DVC? Thank you very much, sir. We're really grateful. So very quickly, I want to invite to take an opening remark a very distinguished gentleman, and you agree he's a gentleman, an erudite scholar, an associate professor in the Department of Earth Science, and also our very well-loved Dean of Student Affairs. Can you put your hands together as I invite Dr. Emmanuel Joel?
Thank you so much. Well, I don't need to buttress what DVC have said initially. And I also thank God that VC has expressed his displeasure concerning what happened this morning. So I just have a little thing to say regarding this week's program, like just a short address. Please, no noise, please. Like a short address. Good morning. Our distinguished management team of Anchor University, Lagos, led by Vice Chancellor and ably represented by Deputy Vice Chancellor. Deans of faculties, professors, respected lecturers, invited guest speakers, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy and honor that I welcome you all to the opening ceremony of our Student Week program. This is a special time in our academic calendar, a week dedicated to celebrating the creativity, talent, leadership, and unity of our student body. Student Week is more than just a break from regular academic routine. It is a platform for self-expression, collaboration, and the demonstration of values that go